speak, think about it. And when you're writing it, and you have to know that you're going to be typing this thing up, you're going to want a symbol for it because you're not going to want to keep putting dashes in there. Dash, dash, dash. You know, it's not real hard in Eclipse. Eclipse make it easy. You know, you come, say you wanted, you know, it was here and here, and you needed dashes in between here. You come right here, you push dash, it puts it automatically behind it. So it's just like any of the other punctuation. It puts it behind it. Does that make sense? Yes? No? Yeah? Okay. You kind of had a dazed look on your face, so I didn't know. What?
Do you write and in those things?
If they use it as an answer, then yes.
And what
But if
do
they
you,
go, no.
and what do you do for the affirmative?
Is UH dash HUH,
Okay.
and the negative is HUH
Yeah.
dash UH.
Okay.
And
And then what about
It's the same.
Same.
If you know that it's affirmative, it's
uh-huh.
UH, HUH, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But, I mean, sometimes, like my judge is real particular usually about that. And it's like, was that yes? Oh, yeah, yeah. You know, but people get lazy. Or dumb, whatever, but, or just try to be silly, you know, when they know that you're asking them important questions and you know, they're not really wanting to answer them. So, and I'll do it too. I'll usually do it too, just because it kind of cleans up the record. I'm sorry, what'd you say? Oh, yeah, yeah. That's what I thought you said. So, anyway, this is it. I mean, and you know, like I said, Eclipse makes it easy, okay? Okay, now they're going to talk about composite globals. And really what this is like the stacking globals that they were talking about, that I was talking to you guys about. That's what they're going to talk about right here.
When you write quickly, your steno machine may register separate strokes as if they were written at the same time. Eclipse Composite Dictionary entries can unscramble this mess. This one dictionary entry performs 3 steps. First, it creates a question paragraph, then it inserts the word yes, then it ends the sentence with a register separate strokes as if they were written at the same time. Eclipse Composite Dictionary entries can unscramble this mess. This one dictionary entry performs 3 steps.
You see what it's doing there? There was 3 different strokes stacked into one. Okay? It's the question, answer, yes, and then period. All in one stroke. Okay? And you'd be surprised, but there's actually some reporters that write like that. 3 strokes in one, and it saves you 3 strokes. I don't see it. My brain doesn't work that way. I don't do it, or not on purpose. You know, I have had it where, you know, it does stack or whatever, but I don't put it in my dictionary as that's what I want it to mean, okay? So, but if you do, then that's the way you define it, okay? It is the question, so you just put the question. Yes, you don't need to put a space in there. It already knows what to do with the yes. It already knows space, space, cap, everything. And then you put your punctuation. And that's the way you define your punctuation. So if you're gonna do it, that's the way you do it. No spaces in between anything. Okay? It already knows what to do. So don't make it more difficult than it needs to be. Okay?
First, it creates a question paragraph, then it inserts the word yes, then it ends the sentence with a period. Here, a suffix s was written, immediately followed by a question stroke. Eclipse understands a glance at the list, its choice.
What would be the choice there? It's gonna be, it needs to be
2 bottles.
2 bottles. But they stacked it with the question.
Let's see, 3.
So which one would it be?
3.
Anyone else? Think 3? It's number 2.
But doesn't that S go to bottles?
Oh, I'm sorry, it is number 3. I'm sorry, it is number 3. It's a suffix, then the question. So you want to be careful, thank you. You want to be careful because that would have put it as the next S on the next line, which is not what you want, okay?
That would put it like as question of A's or.
Yeah. So, so yes, number 3 would be correct, okay? Because it's the suffix first, then the question, okay?
3. Of course, I could have also gotten help from the special entries list, but because of the global magic features, even that help was not needed. I'll place this in my main dictionary.
Got that? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I mean, that all you have to do is global it, and it pretty much probably knows what you're going to do. Okay? So the more you use the software, the more it knows what you're doing. Okay? Got it? Okay, and here's some, little examples that, you can come and do, if you want to. If you have it open, do it, and just do G. Well, it already knows. It's gonna be number 1, okay? Because that's a symbol for the period. Pick number 1, it's already in your main. Make sure it's in your main. Boom, there it is, okay? Now we'll come down to this one, because this was the one that they were talking about. Okay? Now, which one would it be? Read the sentence and then tell me which one you think it would be. Here, I'll
What
take
does y'all's comma? Y'all do RBGS for comma?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's supposed to be me, comma. So you mark it. Which one would it be? Number 8. Put it in. It already knows what to do. You don't have to do anything else. Okay? Now here, what they were trying to do there was put an open paren. So it's paren is a symbol for, parentheses. I've never used it, but I think it's in my dictionary. I've never used it, but if you're gonna do it, that's how you do it. Push number 1, bam. Let's see what they were trying to do here. Dash dash is dash. My dash is all of the vowels. AOI is my dash. So when they say, well, I went to the, I went to the, so it's going to be I went dash, I went to the dash, I went to the store. Because if not, then you're going to do dash dash, and it's like, you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want, but I'm telling you, once you get out you're gonna want something that's probably one stroke, okay?
In STEM Ed, all the vowels is long I. So what is your long I?
That is my long I. But that's with a word. When you're using it with different strokes.
Okay,
But like when I just type I'm gonna go to the store, it's just I.
okay.
So, you know, I don't know, and I don't know what the other
He does Daish, just one time,
Dash.
Daish. But I like that one, so I'm gonna hook mine up and see what my long I is, because that just seems to
Yeah.
make it more natural.
Yeah, and just kind of see what it is. I mean, the rest of you guys, it shouldn't be anything. But if you don't like that, if you don't like AOI, then figure something out. Because trust me, you're gonna use it a lot. Okay?
So you use it as 2 hyphens then?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And you'll see what it's gonna do right here. You see how it is right here where it says, click here, sorry, I meant to do something else. Where he was gonna say, click here and then, oh, sorry, that's something else. And you're gonna see what it does, okay? And that's all you have to put. And it knows what to do, watch. Push number 1, it's a dashes, look what it does. Space, dash, space. Dashes, space. So that just means that it's a broken sentence, you know, that it was a broken thought. Now 1 is gonna mean something totally different. 2 of them means that it's a broken sentence. You understand what I'm saying? So you don't wanna put just 1. It's always with the 2, means that it's a broken sentence. Okay? I don't know what this is. I don't know what they were trying to do there. Clon.
Colon?
Could be. Could be. See how I did it? Just control colon, put everything in there. Put the whole thing in there. Okay? And you can try it. Try it on the exercise. Try it on there. Where it says colon, clon. Try it. Global it. Does it bring up any suggestions of what it is? It does? It already tells you colon?
Yes.
Then you can put number 1 or do control colon. Control colon, try it.
Okay.
And it puts it in there. Okay? Pretty cool. All right? So if you want colon for something else, say you want KLN, because clon is something else for you. Maybe it's a speaker. I don't know. I'm just giving you examples. So maybe it's KLN for colon. Then it's not going to bring anything up because it may bring up words because it thinks that you're trying to do a word. You know, it doesn't recognize it. It might be colon. Then that's how you would do it. Control colon already puts in the brackets, colon, and close bracket. Okay? Got it? Cool stuff right here, guys. Any questions about this stuff? No?
Actually, I do. I don't know why, but my question mark isn't coming up flush to the sentence. So right there, do I need to just check how it's?
I don't even know what you said.
Here, I'll put the question
Oh, your question mark. just define it, you know? And do control, question mark. Yeah.
That's not gonna mess up everything else.
Shouldn't. See how I put it? Now I fixed it. Go in here, put your cursor right there. Do F9. Enter. After did you do a question mark?
And it doesn't, it's not always done that, so I don't understand that.
I don't know.
So what we just did, we're gonna mess it up.
No.
Unless,
No,
is
you
it
just
just,
defined it again.
is it just because I just redefined it that it's now got the brackets the right way?
It could be.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be. Any more questions about anything? No? Now we're gonna talk about prefixes and suffixes. I think we've already pretty much covered it. I don't know that they're gonna have anything in there that we haven't already covered, but we'll see.
Let's see how Total Eclipse handles prefixes and suffixes. Your Steno dictionary probably includes common prefixes to hook onto a following word, and suffixes to hook onto a previous word. Eclipse does a great job of adjusting spellings as it adds prefixes and suffixes, but please remember, it will only adjust the spellings if braces surround both the delete space symbol and the prefix or suffix text. Eclipse will not automatically adjust spellings if only the delete space symbol is within braces.
Do you understand what it's saying there? So within the braces, it's gonna know to automatically adjust the spelling. Okay? And you want it to adjust the spelling, because if you have city and you write an S and the symbol for the S is for the for the suffix, then it's gonna put CITYS. It's not gonna know probably to change it. Okay? So you need it in the brackets, and then it knows to change the spelling. Does that make sense to you guys? Yes? No? Yes? Okay. Let me play
Eclipse
that.
comes with a
wanna
prefix
play
to the
that over.
spellings. If braces Eclipse does a great job of adjusting spellings as it adds prefixes and suffixes, but please remember, it will only adjust the spellings if braces surround both the delete space symbol and the prefix or suffix text.
Very important right there. It will only, did you hear him? It will only adjust the spelling if you keep it in the brackets. Okay?
Eclipse will not automatically adjust spellings if only the delete space symbol is within braces. Eclipse comes with a prefixes and suffixes kit with a dictionary that includes several hundred entries. All you have to do is decide whether you want to use the steno that is given as an example, or press the enter key to get inside and change the steno to something that you know you would write.
Do you understand what it's saying there? So if you write the steno different, say you write ing instead of G, ing. 1, really? 2, really? But if that's the way you do it, then that's the way you do it. So, I mean, if you want to change it, then that's how you need to change it. Okay? And for it to mean that ing in the steno is the text suffix ing, okay?
In a case
The
like,
documentation shows how these prefixes
in a case like that, where ing is maybe going to be the first syllable, like Ingram Mall,
Mm-hmm.
is it going to recognize the difference?
No. So that's where you want to be careful right there. So if you do the ing, then when you're going to do Ingram or something like that, then you're going to have to use,
Or Ingersoll or something?
yeah, you're going to have to use maybe the asterisk with it. Because if not, then it's going to think that it's the suffix. Does anybody do that? Anyone?
Do ing for the suffix?
Yeah. Anyone? And you don't need to worry about it, but if you do, good question. And you know, it may be on something totally different, you know, a totally different suffix or whatever, then you have to come up with something else, because if not, then it's going to use it as, it's going to know that it's a prefix or a suffix. Okay?
and suffixes added to common root words could help translate uncommon words beautifully. Much more could be said about prefixes and suffixes, but this is the subject of a separate in-depth ePower video tutorial which shows you step by step how to take advantage of the prefixes and suffixes kit.
Any questions? Pretty self-explanatory on the prefix suffix thing. Here, what they're trying to tell you to do is that don't define necessarily the word. Okay? So say right here they're saying reassumptions. And that's what they're telling you right there. Don't global the whole word as reassumptions, because actually that's wrong. That's wrong. That's something else. I don't know what they're doing there. Because it should just be RE. RE should be the prefix RE. And then sum is assume. And then shun is something totally different. So you want it different. So if it ever comes up, shun is going to be something different. Because if not, then if you ever get these again and you have shun and it's not defined as shun, you're going to have to keep redefining it with every word that you use. If not, it's always going to know shun is pretty much always going to be a suffix. I think. Shun. Yeah, pretty much. So it's pretty much always going to be a suffix. So S, final S is always going to be a suffix. So you define them differently, and then it knows with these carets in the proper place to put it together. You see what I'm saying? So if you can break down a word and it doesn't change the meaning of the word, if y'all know what I mean, like if he has like resume, you know, you don't do the, say you do resume, and that's the way you hear it, resume. Well, resume is a word, okay? So, I mean, you don't want to change that word. I mean, I don't guess that it would change it, because it's already, even if you put it as a prefix, it's going to put it together with. But if you have sum, resume, then it may put it as reassume. Does that make sense? No? Okay, like say you have resume.
Does the word make sense, or does what you just said make sense?
What I
What you just said makes sense.
okay. Because you know, by changing things up, you don't want to change the root word, is what I'm trying to say. And if that's what the root word is, resume is a word. So if you change it and say you write resume this way, resume. Well, sume is assume, and re is already a prefix. But if you put them together, I don't know if I'm even saying that right.
Well, if you put them together, you'll have reassume. And you don't want that if you want the word resume.
I think it's still going to change it. It is still going to change it. So you're going to have to think of something totally different for reassume and resume, if that's the way you stroke them out. Does that make sense? Because if not, then it's always going to put them together. And even when you do reassume, it's always going to put it together as resume. Okay? So you're going to have to write it different. Like resume, you do res and then sum. Resume.
And then reassume, you would do soon.
Yeah. Or you do long e. Resume would change it. Instead of using the prefix. Because re and ri is always going to be, you know, either a suffix or a prefix. Does that make sense? It should always be. So your long E for resume is going to be R long E, AOE. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay. That's what I was trying to say. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, tell me, guys, because I've kind of confused myself a little bit, I think. But you know, when you're stroking stuff out, when you want it as a prefix, it's always RE. But when it's the root of a word, not a prefix, but the root of a word that's 2 syllables, then you always want it long E, not re, resume. So you want it R long E, and then zoom. And then you won't have that problem. Okay? Make sense? All right. And I think what they're doing right here, this is just kind of a exercise or whatever, but preponder is a word, okay? And so is preponderance. So I think what they're trying to tell you to do is to use this as like a prefix, like a suffix of yance, because you can have continue, wance, and if that's the way you do yance, then that's how you want it to come up as a suffix. Does that make sense? Instead
Have
of,
you already changed some of yours? I mean, yours
This is different.
is different than
Yeah,
ours.
it's different.
is it?
Ours has a lot more
For
the
remind.
prefixes and stuff in red. Like in that queue, we've got 3 areas where that one only has 1. Like the re in front of the mind is red, like a prefix in ours.
Oh, really? Yeah, and I may have, and I may
That's what I
have
thought,
done it in a
maybe.
prior class or whatever,
Right.
so I just gone and changed it, just never changed it back.
That's what I was.
So if you go around and mess with it, you already know how to redo it, right? Go into install lesson, highlight it.
Yeah.
And if you just want to do this one lesson, then you just highlight that one lesson, press enter, and it should reset it, okay? So, yeah, I just probably never reset mine or whatever. So that's probably what they're doing,
Okay.
okay?
Occasionally, you'll need to add a prefix or suffix while editing. You can click on a toolbar icon, or click on a toolbar icon, or open the Edit menu to insert a prefix or suffix, or press Hyperkey W.
Guys, write this down. W in HyperKeys. And you can do it right now. Make sure you're in HyperKeys and press W. Okay? All of your prefixes, suffixes, all of that stuff is in there. Okay? Pretty cool stuff.
I needed that today.
Oh my God. I'm telling you, it's a lifesaver. It is a lifesaver.